Our favorite childhood stories usually stick with us. Do you remember yours? The characters of the story, how they made you feel, and especially the lessons they taught us. Stories can shape our understanding of the world and help build our values. 1 year since its launch, Katha4Nepal has posted over 300 read-alouds to engage children, foster connections, and perhaps give them their favorite childhood story. Katha4Nepal is continuing to promote a reading culture to facilitate deeper literacy skills. As we enter into our second year, we want to be more intentional about the stories we choose. We want to focus on diversity and help children understand different social issues from different perspectives. And we'd also like our viewers to think more carefully about the characters and the content in their stories.
The Asia Foundation's Let's Read initiative inspires a love and appreciation for reading through the creation of diverse and relevant children's storybooks in their own languages.
There was once a baby koala so soft and round that all who saw her loved her. Her name was Koala Lou. We know that stories contain life lessons. Stories also provide opportunities to learn about ourselves. When we read stories to children, we are essentially describing the world to them. That's why we must ask ourselves, do the stories we read portray all the diverse peoples of our community fairly and equitably? Are we making an effort to bring out narratives that are usually hidden and oppressed? Or are we simply picking books that are popular and common? So there's one other message that I'm waiting for. And my hint is you might have to think about, again, think very broadly, outside the book, make larger connections to the world. So I'll go over this later, whenever we read stories, making connections is very important. Text to self, text to text, text to world. There are 3 levels. So the hint is maybe text to world, so larger ideas. Why do you think Mem Fox wrote this book? So the main character in this book is a little girl, a koala girl. And this is how the story goes. So when the girl's mother starts having other babies, like her younger siblings, she starts to feel left out. So to get her mother's attention, she decides to compete in a sport. Now, one can extract different messages from this story, and when I ask adults during workshops, what do you think the author's message is, they usually comment on, how it's not important to win every competition, or how our parents always love us no matter what. But then, I found that most people don't actually focus on the fact that the main character is a girl, and she makes an unconventional choice, which is competing in a sport as opposed to throwing tantrums. So this tells us a lot of things, like how even adult readers in Nepal are not thinking of this as a teachable moment to talk about maybe representation of women or giving different messages to small girls. So this is a really great teachable moment, and this is how you can really problematize a story's message and really focus on that aspect and highlight it so that you're making that story very visible.
We bring together the talents of local communities and the power of technology to create storybooks that act as mirrors that reflect and affirm all of our cultures, and as windows that provide a view of the wider world. We've been working with Katha4Nepal to bring many of our stories to life through read-aloud videos, and we're very thrilled to create these videos in many languages, including Nepali, Barajilla Tharu, Dangaura Tharu, and Tamang, to help children grow, family flourish, and communities thrive.
The messages that young children absorb from read-alouds heavily influence their ideas about themselves and others. It teaches them who is important and who matters. When children don't see themselves in the stories that they read, or see their communities being misrepresented with certain stereotypes, it sends them a message that they and their community are not important.
यो कथा किन लेखेको होला, यसको इम्पोर्टेन्स के हुनसक्छ, आफ्नो क्लासरुममा कसरी पढाउने, यो सोसल जस्टिस इस्युसित कसरी कनेक्टेड छ, एन्ड हाउ डिड इट मेक यु फिल यो कथा पढेपछि ड्रइङ कुन राम्रो लाग्यो, यो पेज राम्रो लाग्यो कि ए थारू भाषा पढ्दा कस्तो लाग्यो. द्याट्स your responses as a person. Again, historically our education system has not trained us to make learning and education personal. It's about you, your response.
In this video, we provided a small example from Kuala Lumpur where a girl makes an unconventional yet admirable choice. There are other books that introduce gender diversity in a child-friendly way. And it's high time we actively highlight characters, stories, and languages that have been historically marginalized in Nepal. Read-Alouds can also provide a space to discuss delicate issues with children. And of course, we always need stories that highlight the importance of nature and conserving our environment. Don't forget, books can save lives.